All right, guys. So apparently, the left is kind of freaking out. I won't say freaking out, but kind of realizing, hey, we might have some issues with this country, maybe even the world, right? When it comes to white nationalism. All right, so I just watched a video, on the YouTube channel Secular Talk. Kyle, I like this guy. I really do. He's a passionate guy. I like this guy. What's up, Kyle? Do a little shout out for me, huh? I like this guy. All right. So anyway, I do watch his stuff, and he's a very passionate dude, and he basically said, hey, I did some YouTube. We're not gonna watch the whole thing. That's like 7 minutes long, man.
Talk about the future of the right, because obviously everything is imploding right now with Donald Trump. I mean, he has made it so being a Republican is totally unappealing. Being part of MAGA is totally unappealing. Even people like Alex Jones now are fleeing the ship like a rat
Fucking
fleeing
Alex
a sinking
Jones.
ship. And so with that being said, you had Jason Selvig of the Good Liars. He went to CPAC to see where young MAGA is at, okay? And so take a look at this. Christopher Webb says, this isn't just disturbing, it's a warning. Jason Selvig of the Good Liars shares what he heard from young folks at CPAC, and it should stop you cold. They're moving on from Trump, but they didn't reject him. They absorbed him. Mm-hmm. Trump normalized white nationalism, gave it oxygen to spread, and made it feel acceptable. So where are they moving to now? Well, Jason Selvig is going to explain. Let's listen.
Some of the people that were there who were younger, in their 20s, they said they came to kind of see the funeral of CPAC and just confirm that it really was over.
Well, what do they think is coming next? It dies, and what takes its place?
Well, I think it's turning point. And I have to say, I think some of the things that some of the younger people that I talked to were a little bit scary, because they were saying things that sounded a lot like white nationalism. It sounded racist, to be honest.
What did they say?
Well, they were saying basically that the United States was founded by Europeans, and that is the identity of the United States. And it was a mission from God to conquer a land, and the United States was conquered by Europeans, and now that they're blessed, the United States is blessed by God because of conquering the people that lived here before. And it was more about religion and more about Christianity and that identity. And that included things like teaching the Bible in school and teaching it literally, like Noah's flood actually happened. All these things actually happened. So it was very different from the people we talked to before who were like, Trump is number one. It seems like it's moving in a different direction that is not Trump. And to me, I find that worrying. But I've heard this from talking to people who have children who are in their 20s or in college. They'll say, oh, my son is watching Nick Fuentes all the time. And it's like people you wouldn't expect. Like I think a friend of mine would say that they had a friend who just got really into Nick Fuentes. So it's happening, and you're kind of seeing it bubble to the surface now, which it's very different from the Trump rallies we've gone to. Like the way people are talking about this is very different than what we heard in the past.
So understand what he's saying there. What he's saying is, yes, MAGA is dead or dying. Trump is not cool. He's not popular anymore. Everybody's running away from him at 1,000 miles an hour. Even the people at CPAC were there to see the funeral of MAGA. All that is true. However, what's going to replace MAGA is Christian nationalism and white nationalism. What's going to replace Donald J. Trump among young right-wingers is Nick Fuentes. Okay, we've already heard the stories that some
Fucking
disturbing
bitch boy
percentage
Nick.
of the staffers of a lot of Republican congresspeople are Fuentes fans, right? And so when you look at the content of the criticism from Nick Fuentes, what you learn is his position is, Trump, the reason why you suck is you're not fascist enough. You didn't deport enough brown people. You need to deport more. Like, that's the core of the disagreement. And yes, he'll oppose the Iran war. These days, he's actually trolling very hard by telling his people to vote Democrat. That's how pissed he is at the Republicans. But this is not going to go away, and these are not going to become liberals. These are not going to become leftists. Maybe some small percentage of them will. But they're going to go deeper into Christian nationalism and white nationalism. You heard him. Teach that Noah's Ark is literally true, right? Go back to biblical morality. A man can't lie with a man, so ban gay marriage. It's going to get goofy. It's going to get weird when you actually try to implement white nationalism. They like that Greg Bavino idea when he said, I wanted to deport 100 million people. This is what the Fuentes types want. So for a long time, people have been saying, well, why can't the fever break on the Republican side? Why can't they become more moderate? Why can't they learn from their mistake? They're incapable of doing that. And so now Trumpism is going to be replaced by something equally as extreme and more committed to the project. Okay, so...
All right. I got to stop it there. Also, I'm playing this whole damn video. I might get copyrighted. I don't know how this shit works. All right, so I mean, you get the gist of it, right? You get the gist of it. Okay, he's freaking out, that Nick fucking Fuentes, bro. That little goofy little boy, that little boy is going to fucking be, what is it? What do they call the KKK members? They call it the Grand Dick Wizard, right? Of MAGA, of Megatron, right? And listen. If you've been following Nick Fuentes, right, and you're not a actual like white nationals Christian extremism, right? You follow him because he stands up for Palestine, right? Calls out Israel. Well, let me tell you something. He is a piece of he's a bad guy. He's not doing it for good intentions, right? He just hates the Jews more than he hates the Palestinians. You know what I mean? He's a piece of shit. He hates the Jews more. So if you're not a white national Christian, unfollow him, stop watching his shit, and condemn this fucking goon, this little goober, this little goofy ass looking dude. Listen, because he's right. You know what I mean? He's right. That's exactly what's happening. MAGA, it's fragmenting, right? They're fragmenting. Okay? And they're going to start turning into domestic terrorism. But hey, guys, let me tell you something. All right. All this, okay? All this ICE stuff, right? What do we have? We have dudes, all right? Dudes with rifles, right? No plates on their car, civilian van, low profile, high profile, right? Mask, no identification, just knocking on people. Not even knocking. They're just barging to freaking where people live, snatching them up, right? Taking them. No lawyers, no judges, no media, nobody knows. Kidnap them. They kidnap them. Just say kidnap, right? Okay, kidnap. Government-sponsored kidnapping, right? Okay, National Guard. Guys, remember National Guard? Yeah. Well, mass surveillance, Palantir collecting data on Americans on social media, for anything that's anti-Trump, whatever, right? Anti-Christian, okay? All this stuff, man. It's not. You think all this stuff is for little Jorge crossing the border who wants to sell oranges down the street? You know what I'm saying? Or those little sexy Latinas coming in? No. That's for all the gun-hoarding extremists. Listen, man, America's always been one of the only countries where civilians can buy rifles, right? They can buy rifles, shotguns, you know what I mean? If you get a class, I don't know what the classes are, with the ATF. You get suppressors, right? You could get freaking automatic guns. You basically get whatever you want, as many as you want. Ammunition, you could hoard all that shit as a civilian. Right? With no register, you don't have to register. You don't. A lot of people say you do. No, you fucking don't. Okay? That's the biggest fucking threat. Think about it. All this stuff is not for Jorge, bro. The biggest threat is these guys, right? So, you could ask it, hey, it looks like a conspiracy. Sounds like a conspiracy. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy guy. Like I said, I'm just from the future. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm not middle. I'm just here, man. I come and go, right? I tell you what's going on. You could listen, you could not listen. I don't give two shit, right? But I'm telling you what's going to happen, right? The right is going to turn domestic terrorists. ICE is going to, as part of DHS, Department of Homeland Security, right? Partnership with DOD, which is now DOW, Department of War. National Guard, they're all going to be here. Boots on the ground. Telling you, when they start doing all this, they're gonna start doing some crazy shit. Maybe this year. I don't know, guys. I don't know. They're gonna do something crazy this year. Okay, right? They're gonna be mad at their little orange Jesus daddy Trump, right? They're gonna do something. They're gonna do something extreme, and we're gonna start going after them. Well, Trump is, and you know what the punchline is, right? All these policies and all these freaking things, they pushed, it's going to be turned on them. And nobody's going to come to the rescue, bro, because nobody likes them. They created so many fucking enemies. Nobody's going to come to the rescue, you know, because you think about it, right? You got MAGA. It's going to fragment into 3, right? One of them is always going to stay loyal to Trump no matter fucking what. He could literally spread his butt cheeks, you know what I mean? Take a diarrhea dump down their throat. They'll say, thank you, sir. Then we got the second ones, you know. The second ones are like, man, this is I don't want none a part of this bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, this is getting way too crazy, right? I can't feed my family. I got no work. I got no job. This ain't it, right? I'm partyless. I'm homeless. This is what they're going to say. So they're going to start going, AOC Bernie. I don't know, maybe, right? Or not vote at all. Something, right? Then the third part. These are the one that he's kind of freaking out about, right? Or everybody. The domestic terrorists. Yes, these are the guys. Right? So, I don't know, guys. You know, I'm here to make you feel good, you know, because I know, these couple of years, last year, this year, right? Since COVID, fuck, man. You know, everybody's been on edge. Everyone's kind of aging, getting gray hair because everyone's stressed. Chillax, relax, man. Look, I'm here to make you feel good, to kind of let you know, you know, when you're a kid, you play through the sewer system, right? You know, first it's dark, it's smelly, sticky, stinky, slippery, right? You and your friends are slipping over place, you know? But then you see at the end of the tunnel, there's light. Right? You gotta go over the shopping carts, you know, the homeless freaking dude that's been there, little Jack, you know what I'm saying, the crackhead, the dead rats. You gotta go over that stuff before the end of, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel. This is, you know, it's gonna happen, guys. Don't worry. Things will get better. But first you gotta go through this, you know, sewer system, you know. So I'm here to make you feel good. But like he said, I kind of didn't play that part, right? I don't want to get copyright striked or whatever, you know. But he said let's see. So the challenge for the left. So basically he's saying, you know, he basically says, hey guys, you can't be passive on this stuff, right? You gotta be a little more, not aggressive, right? You know what I mean? But you gotta be more active, right? Active, okay? Not passive. You know, don't be, oh my God, it's the end of the world. Shut up. No, be a little more passive. I mean active, right? That's what he's saying. You can't reform these guys. There's no way you could, you know, do a political debate and bring them back in. They're too gone. That's what he's saying. Do I believe that? I think, I don't know. But there will be definitely domestic terrorism, right? And if you know somebody, or, you know, if you have, if you're on that side and you're young, listen, man, saying it, bro, saying it ain't gonna end well. You know what I mean? It's saying it, bro. Your daddy Trump's gonna sell you out so quick. You know, your mommy and daddy gonna sell you out so quick. Your neighbors, everybody. Saying it, bro. Saying it. Live another day. Play your little video games. You know what I mean? It's all bullshit. Don't follow fucking Nick Bitch Fuentes and all those little bullshit ass Nazi stuff, bro. Nazis lost. Look, the Crusades lost what? The Crusades lost 8-7 or some shit like that. 7 or 8. I don't fucking know. They lost. Losers. God ain't on their side. God is not on their side. God is not on the side of hate. Anyways, I find it interesting, right? You're talking about. But again, you know, I talked about it here too. There it is. White Christian domestic terrorism. I kind of want to do a little deep dive into it. You know what I mean? Right? But I don't know. Court order for me to do this, right? You know, judge said, hey, either do this or go to Vietnam. I said, all right, fuck it. Fuck it, man. I'll start doing this. You know, just don't let I'm not part, you know, I'm not an agency, don't got money. I mean, I'm just kidding. But anyways, it's very interesting, right? Type 1. So I think end of this year, something might happen, right? Something stupid might happen. So, you know, be vigilant. Stay away from X, guys. Stay away from X. How long is this fucking video? Damn, 15 minutes. All right, listen, look. I don't have no scripts, all right? I'm not following a script. I'm not reading anything. But listen, X, guys. X, stay the fuck off of X. All right, what X is a breeding ground for domestic terrorism. X is a data collection platform, okay? They are identifying, you know, grouping up, categorizing all these potential domestic terrorists. Stay the fuck off of X. I mean, if you go there, it's all fucking breeding. It's all little hate it's just hate content. It's bots, hate bots too, man. I don't know. I mean, look at my channel. Like, you find all these freaking pro-Trump bot freaking thing just spreading hate and religious extremism. Don't be stupid. See through the bullshit, and stay away. Stay from X. And if you're freaking minority, if you're brown and you're following this fucking thing, Nick Fuentes, all that, you're a fucking idiot. Sit your dumb ass down, man. Like,